was a kid, but when we moved over, when my family moved over, it was like everyone would call me Maher, Mather. So, you know, if I go to the dentist or whatever, it'd be like, you know, John Mather, and I'd be like, so anyway, there was that. So I was, as a youngster, I was annoyed that I was called Maher and Maher, like, and then also there was, you'll know that being a music fan, the Manchester band, the Buzzcocks.
Yes.
The drummer in the Buzzcocks, his name is John.
You a cup of tea, and her job for the night was, do you remember Morrissey used to have it was a flower that he used to have on stage. He'd have the flowers at the dance.
The gladioli?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the flowers didn't arrive, and it was my sister, she was like 19, her job was to try and find the flowers. But it was Limerick in 1983 and we didn't have any flower shops. So she had to run to a local hotel and like just steal a bush from a car park at the hotel. And then handed it to Morrissey before stage, and he had to go up. It was a shrub. He had to go up on stage with Limerick shrubbery.
I know some people from Cork, so I've got to be careful. No, we just, God, anything could have happened. You know, like.
Was that your first tour of Ireland?
Yeah, that was the first. That was the first tour. Yeah, I mean we. 11, and we'd been in bands from being sort of little bands, you know, really made a go of it from being 14, 15. So we had this sort of telepathy thing going on with the music. But what would happen was I'd play the song down, and he'd play along, and was always absolutely brilliant. And bits, because I was his mate, knew him so well, bits that was so great that he might not play it again. I'd go, don't forget that bit. Don't. Have you done any writing with any of the? I don't mean with the bandits, but any of the writing.
No, but I had a brother who was a songwriter, and when I would be living in his spare room making music, he walks in and says, that bit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right, yeah.
I'm messing around and he goes, that bit.
So it's like being, the best way I can put it is like being a really enthusiastic cheerleader, and somewhat like a curator. Because anyway, it's a way, because that was just the role anyway. But also the thing with Andy as well was that he would get not distracted, but he was so modest that he'd play something and he just wouldn't. I've heard it said as well from very well-meaning people. They really meant well when Andy died, that he didn't know how good he was. He did. He was just really modest. He knew how good he was, right? But that's not to say he thought he was amazing. Like most people I know, great people, like most great people, he aspired to be better. He was focusing on he was just modest, so he focused on what he thought was 40% that he could improve, right? But I loved what he did so much. I'd sit there. What used to happen was every single bass line, just to put it in context, every single bass line on every Smiths record, I was there, and he made sure I was there for every single note when it was being recorded, because I was his cheerleading mate, and I sort of knew him better than anybody else. So that's how we got those things down. But sometimes I would go, oh, what about if you... Usually I would just be like, do more of that, you know, so that's how it worked, yeah. It was a really cool collaboration, yeah.
And that's interesting, because I always think of bass players, their best friend in a band is